So I want to talk to you about my day. It was an emotional, very physical day when I was at the doctor's office and I found out that I had high blood pressure. You know, it wasn't just that, oh, you have high blood pressure. And I kind of knew I had some symptoms of something because of the headaches. It was about the fact that I was in stroke territory and my doctor was afraid to even have me leave the office. You can imagine how that makes a person feel. Blood pressure up in the 200s. They gave me medication right there on the spot. They made me sit in a dark room and do a breathing exercise for 25 minutes. The hydrochlorothiazide brought my pressure down. Off to the cardiologist I went. Back from the cardiologist with a whole new plan. You know, because health isn't something that you lose. How can you lose anything that's really inside you? But instead, I didn't go for defeat. Yes, I took my medication because that's what my doctor and cardiologist expected me to do. But you know what I also did? I worked on a plan, and that plan took a long time. It took me, well, since 2010. What was my plan? I'm a foodie. I can make anything. If I see it, I can make it. I don't know how many times I'm watching TV and I'll see a chef make something and then I will go to the grocery store, buy the ingredients and turn around and make it. But now I had to use my brains because I had to eliminate one of the core ingredients a lot of people use, which is salt. Sodium. It's almost an arch enemy. Yeah, you need a little bit. Don't go completely zero because your body needs it. So what did I work on? Food plans. And it was amazing. You know, hypertension is really a blessing in disguise because it means you've been eating crap, okay? Everybody's just throwing salt on everything they cook. Well, this is going to taste better because I'm going to enhance it with salt. Not necessarily the case. You can find out through cooking experiments that you can add flavor and it's not salt. You could add curry, you could add jalapenos, especially if you like it spicy like I do. There are so many things you can add. You know what? Bananas. Bananas are great. You ever put banana on cereal? Hey, that's going to add the potassium that you need to counterbalance the salt inside your body. There are a lot of things you do. But you know what? The first thing you do is panic. And when we panic about information, we go to Google. You might have a different search engine, but mine is Google. And we put in high blood pressure, and we join all these groups on Facebook, of which I have one, foods that, you know, lower your blood pressure. And we hear the results from people. Oh, I have high blood pressure. What should I do? Take your medication. Pray to God. Here, try this oil. The list goes on. Try this tea. Oh, you know what? You really need to try this potassium and magnesium supplement, which you will find out if you haven't already, that too much potassium in your body through a supplement will make you feel like dog do, okay? I found that out in Denver one weekend. Way too much potassium in my body. That's why you have to do your blood test to make sure that you're balancing out everything. But then I went on the opposite end after I found out about potassium. So what did I do? I'm like, I'm not taking supplements at all. But that's why you go to your doctor and get blood tests, okay? I found out that my blood tests showed that my potassium was low. Very, very, very low. I needed to pump that up some. The great part is, by going to the doctor, you can figure that stuff out. And once you figure that shit out, you can get to the real stuff, okay, of balancing your dietary needs. I'm not saying that stop medication, because I'm not a doctor, but you can enhance through small little bits. Don't listen to all the big mouthpieces that are out there making the biggest noise. You'll see it, hibiscus tea. Oh, use a little hibiscus tea. That will lower your blood pressure. Well, 3 cups of hibiscus tea may lower between 5 to 8 points on your blood pressure. 3 cups of tea a day, every day, okay? That's why it's important that you do your research. That's why it's important that you experiment. That's why it's important, because you are different from me, but we all have the same goal, and the goal is to lower our blood pressure. The other thing you need to realize is that blood pressure will go up and down. If I took it right now while I'm speaking to you, you would realize, or I would realize, that my blood pressure is high because I'm a little bit nervous. But that's okay. I know when I go later on and relax, it will be calm. So I went on my journey. I tried supplements. And there's a difference between supplements and food, okay? One, a supplement you could take too much of. Food, well, too much and you'll end up with some of this. Not a big deal. Exercise. Watch what you eat. I'm a big guy. I can't help it. I'm going to eat food. I'm going to have a few extra pounds. Am I working on it? Yes. So it's really, really important that you follow the right voices that work for you. It's important to have a blood pressure machine so you could test things out. You know, I used to be this guy, I used to have these huge parties. I'd have like 150 people. Some of you will remember my Cinco de Mayo parties up in Canada. Phenomenal food, great time, great guests. We all had a good time. But now I had to change and challenge myself. And I challenge you to challenge yourself. You know, you can't just eat out all the time. They don't give a crap about you. Food enhanced, salt, you see it on the cooking show contest, salt being added, right? Not seasoned enough. Make your pasta, put salt in the water, okay? They say the average person eats about 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams of sodium in a day. A diet should have 2,300 milligrams of sodium. Sure, but based on your diet, you may need less. My diet is 1,500 milligrams. I went out to a restaurant and had a fish dinner. I later found out it was 3,800 milligrams of sodium. That's 2.5 days worth of food in one meal. You know I wasn't going the rest of the time without eating, right? So then I had to deal with the opposite of being good decisions and realizing that I'm going to have an issue later on that day or the following day. But you know what? You work through those things. You know, because health isn't about failure and success. Because health is inside you, like I said before. It's about trial and error that will bring you to a plateau where your numbers are great. Hey, I went to the doctor 2 weeks ago. 124 over 81. Fantastic. I ran half marathons. I will always have high blood pressure. It's genetic. I hate when I give my blood because they dig in to try and find the needle to go into my vein. I got tiny veins on a big body. It's just going to be that way. But you know what? I worked through it and I found great things to do. You know, being the editor of a Facebook group allows me to interact with thousands of people around the world. You know, I found a friend of mine, Peter. He's like, Rick, you got to try neck yoga. There's this guy in Russia. He's doing this neck yoga and it's reducing his blood pressure. I was still like high blood pressure. I was hypertension too, as I was building my lifestyle that I currently have. So I did the neck yoga. You know, you turn your neck this way, you turn your neck that way, you do some of this. There was all kinds of things that we had to do. 20 minutes. And I kept a little diary. And I would do it first thing in the morning, which is what you should always measure your blood pressure. First thing in the morning before it gets hectic. Not after you've gone up and down a flight of stairs or drove in traffic for an hour. First thing in the morning, without your phone, without the lights, without the rest of your family. And my blood pressure dropped 22 points. Can you believe it? Just on some neck exercises. So I read up a little bit more on it and found out that a lot of times people have artery clogs in their necks. And this is one way to loosen that up, have it flow away, builds the blood pressure. I don't mean build up, I mean it builds it strong. Strong being as close as you can get to 120 over 80. So I continued on that for 2 weeks. And then they're saying after your 2 weeks of doing it every day, you only have to do it a couple times a week. My blood pressure before was like it dropped to 128 over 84. Not bad, right? So then I just tweaked tweaked my dietary supplement a little bit. Okay, by a little bit, I got rid of all the crap. And a friend of mine, Gino, we met last year. He's like, hey, I had my issues. I tried this colostrum. Look it up. And then he walked away. I'm like, man, he didn't pay for my coffee or anything. He just told me what it was and walked away. Got into his new yellow sports car and drove off. Okay, cool, whatever. A couple days later, he had some spare time. So yep, Googling again, colostrum. I'm like, oh snap. This is the same website that my doctor gave me by the government for high blood pressure. I'm like, so this is a legitimate site. This isn't all those phony balonies out there. And I read through it. And there was more than 5,000 articles. Obviously, I did not read them all. I just skipped through a couple of the legitimate ones at PubMed or .gov. And I found out back in the 80s that bovine colostrum can help your body, how do I put it? Promoting your health to number one. So I'm like, sure, you know what? I'm going to try some. But of course, what product am I going to try? So I read a report from Cornell that this is one of the best in the world, and so I bought some colostrum. You know, all you do is take a little tablet. Actually, you take 3 tablets. Actually, I'm a big guy. I took 5 tablets. Okay, I took 5 tablets in the morning. About 4 or 5 days later, I woke up. I'm like, I feel pretty good. Not energetic like I took caffeine or anything like that. Just better. You know, so I kept on taking my colostrum. Kept documenting what was happening to me. Not anything serious. It's not like my vision suddenly turned X-ray or I became a Superman. But, you know, one of the things that I was having a problem with, it was my knees. Yeah, I'm a former football player, but I was always fast. I never got clipped at the knees. I don't have knee issues until a few years ago. And I was having a lot of pain, even getting up out of the chair. I was actually scared. I was thinking, maybe I might have to start taking pain medication. And we all know where that road leads. We've seen the news. We hear about it. It's an epidemic. We start with aspirin, and the next thing you know, we're a junkie in the streets. I was scared. I didn't think it was going to happen right away, but the very fact that I was thinking of taking medication for my knees, I was concerned. And then in early January, I didn't have any knee pain. I got out of bed, no knee pain. I didn't have to hold on to a wall, nothing. 3 days later of no knee pain, I said, you know what, Rick, if you get up tomorrow morning and there's no knee pain, go for a little walk. Go like half a mile, you know, quarter mile there, quarter mile back. But here's the deal, Rick, and yes, I'm talking about myself to myself in front of you. If there's no knee pain, go register for the Pat Tillman race in April 27th. I'm like, deal. No pain, that's what we're going to do. I don't care about speed. I don't care about time. You know how people go, oh, what was your time? How far did you go? None of your damn business. But I did go half a mile. And I came back. No pain. So that morning, you know, get out the phone, Google Pat Tillman. And the Pat Tillman race is, Pat Tillman was a soldier, played for the NFL Cardinals, went to serve his country in a battle for the United States and lost his life. Could have just stayed home and been a rich NFL football player, but he had a bigger meaning. And now the Pat Tillman proceeds help other people. And it's in Tempe, Arizona. It's sold out for this year. So I registered. Google Pat Tillman, credit card, right? Boom, done. I'm like, all right, now I gotta start training. I'm at the gym. You know, I'm walking on the treadmill. My knees are still weak, so I gotta hold on to the railings. I'm old, sure, but you know what? I'm out there, and I'm walking slow pace, and I'm getting mileage in. And you know what? I might lift a little bit of weight, you know. just a little bit. I go to do leg exercises. I use 0 weights. I just get reps. It's been so long since I could walk, run. My knees and legs are weak. It's amazing. I'm ready. I've done a couple 4.2s already. I've shed a few pounds. I feel fantastic. The bald spot on the back of my head that I had on my 50th birthday in Las Vegas, gone. But you know what? Those are just things that I might think that are better. Maybe I'm still really bald, but I'm just trying to convince myself that I'm doing better. So I went back to the doctor, of course, had to have my annual physical. I hate those, as everybody else does, but I made a deal with my doc that I would. I go to the doctor's office, my blood pressure is 124/81. Considering I have white coat syndrome and having my blood pressure taken is excruciatingly, gives me anxiety, 124/81. I'm not scared of the doctor anymore. Do I still eat great? Yes. Do I eat my colostrum 3 times a day? You friggin' bet I do. Life is good. So I wanted to share this story with you about how I promoted my health. I exercised. I ate much better. I have not had a soda in, it's almost a year. Oh yeah, and last year, my A1C, they tried to put me on metformin because it was so high, my blood sugar. I cut out the soda. You know, I'm a Canadian. Canadians drink beer. I cut out most of the beer. My blood is great. My blood sugar, I'm normal. So I'm no longer close to being a diabetic on metformin. My blood pressure is spectacular at 124/81. Do I still take my medication? Yes. I am under the understanding that I will take my medication forever. But you know what I also want to do? I want to share. That's why I'm the editor of Facebook groups such as Foods That Lower Blood Pressure. Okay, and on Instagram, showing some of the meals. You know, a lot of the loud mouths we've heard say, oh, you can't eat this and you can't eat that. Frickin' wrong. You can. You can't just survive on popcorn and cardboard and that kind of crap. You got to eat well. The hypertension lifestyle is all about that. It's about you could still have chicken wings. Maybe not 50 of them, but you could still have them. And you know what? If you do the sauce right, which is doing it by yourself, you could have spectacular flavors and still get what you want. You can make your own dips. Heck, I got a garden in the backyard. I'll show you one day. I just went to the store and bought stuff for the next season. The point I'm trying to make is hypertension lifestyle means you can be the better you. Doing the things you're supposed to do. Exercise. Okay? Drink lots of water, especially here in the desert. Okay? Eat the right foods. And sometimes eat the foods you're not supposed to eat, right? It's okay to have that every once in a while. Just don't make eating the wrong foods a lifestyle because, you know, there's a lot of people with high blood pressure and there's a lot of people who are ignoring it. If you've been ignoring it, I'm encouraging you to follow along. You know, eat the right supplements, okay? And that means colostrum. Go ahead. I don't have to tell you all about it. Google it. Google colostrum benefits. You'll find it. You'll see the government sites, okay? And you'll be able to read it. And you'll go, wow, why aren't we all eating this? Okay? It's a food in a capsule, which is different than a supplement. Okay? It's high in protein. It's good for your body. And you can't overdose on it because it's a food. Unlike supplements, okay? There's no other stuff in it. And the higher the quality, the better you will feel. You're promoting your health to number one. So I thank you for listening. This isn't over yet, okay? The ending, the proof of the pudding, see, people always tell you, well, you should try this. And half of them that say that don't even do that themselves, right? In the put up or shut up. Okay? There's a lot of bullshitters out there. Okay? They just want to look smart in the medium of social media. I'm not one of those. Okay? I'm the real deal. I'm sharing you my story. Okay? Because my story could help your story. And if that's what it does, I feel fantastic. So I'm going to end this with me crossing the Pat Tillman race finish line April 27th at the middle of ASU Tempe Sun Devils Stadium football field, because that's where the end line is. Put up is exactly what I'm going to do.